Yeah, we're looking at these new materials here as well in Latin America.
Right.
And do you see any differences, say, in people's tastes when you travel, generally speaking, like in regards to colors and materials, like compared to say people from the U.S., Japan, or even China, like something that you see very different in terms of the reaction of customers.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's such a rewarding job to kind of like see all your ideas, and then when it finally comes to, fruition, you can see it there, and then people, pay attention to the smallest detail, or whether it's stitching or something. They just love it, and you're like, that is so cool. I spent so much time developing and somebody appreciates it. That's such a high, right?
Right, right, right.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Okay, let's see. Any other questions we have here?
Somebody said they love the pattern on the Maxima. That's cool. That's actually, I love that they paid attention to that. That's awesome.
Is there any samples you have there that you can show?
Yeah,
Even.
sure. So I pulled some stuff. So one of the things, this is a supplier that I absolutely love. So they make materials kind of like Alcantara. They actually are a Alcantara like supplier, but they have beautiful samples. And so I get a lot of inspiration. So I keep these kind of things around a lot, and I just flip through them, and you can kind of see like some of them are padded, some of them
Mm,
have like stitching and like pretty details. So it's stuff like this that, I tend to keep around and kind of play with, and just like look at the different like thicknesses, and I think about different applications for materials, and where people would want to feel something soft, or yeah, so it's really kind of fun to kind of like play with these. And this is, sometimes we see a material that we fall in love with, and from that, we build an entire theme or concept around that. So
mm.
that's what's so fun, is like sometimes it could just be like finding one precious item, and then you're like, this is it. I got to build a whole concept around that. So that's
Mm,
what's
mm,
really fun too.
mm,
Yeah,
mm.
it's cool. So we get a lot of these kind of samples and things, like I said, like the paint, the color shifting paint. We paint a lot of samples and kind of show what it could look like on a car by like making models, and yeah, it's quite cool.
So now, Nicole, you're back at NDA. You're the color manager there. What are some of the say things that you are planning to do in the future, and what are you? I don't know. What are the things you want to do hit there at NDA as a manager and your team and everything?
Yeah, I would really love us to kind of, we seem to have kind of gone um in a way where we're doing a lot of I would say downstream production stuff. So I really want NDA to get back to doing like some really cool creative. But for color designers, I really would like us to work more with GUI. And I think the connection between like technology and materials is going to become really almost the same, if not the same. So I
Seamless.
see like materials being screens and vice versa, and handles being things that change and move. And so to me, I think we just have to work closer together as a team, especially I would say with interior, like color and interior is going to become almost one group. I see that happening because it's just technology and the way that our life is moving and functioning. I think that we can change that. So I think we have to be more cohesive, where sometimes color can be like, oh, well, here's the shape, just find a pretty color to put on the shape. And that's not going
No,
to be anymore. It's going to
no.
be, we're starting from the very beginning, and we're having an input and creating concepts around materials.
Yeah, because when you talk about GUI, it's all about user experience, right? That seems to be this keyword that has been floating around in our company for quite a long time now, and how it's not just putting materials and colors together. It's actually trying to understand and create a user experience,
Right,
right?
right.
And I think you're right. The technology is helping to create a seamless connection between materials and functionality. I know that we've been trying to reduce the amount of materials in the car by integrating function with the material.
Right.
And a lot of suppliers like Foratia and other suppliers are really studying about how we can interact with the materials rather than having a normal plastic switch, for example.
Right.
You can
Right.
actually touch the
Right.
cloth or the leather
Yeah.
to turn on the light
Yeah.
or to roll down the window or something. For me, I find that quite interesting.
Yeah.
Is this seamless connection between all the disciplines, right? Not we're no longer separated by our titles, but we actually become more in tune by the other discipline. And I think because of my experience with the interiors and also working with the color, it really made me appreciate technology
Yeah.
and how it can really enhance the user experience in our car. Um, and I've noticed that in our trend now is that the screen, the displays
Yeah.
are becoming much larger,
Yeah.
but is which company can really make them feel integrated into the interior.
Right.
Whether you can, you can go both ways. One is you can have a big tablet that goes
Right.
from left to right, or is there another way to be able to integrate the display into the material where when it's not there, it's not there.
Right.
And when it's there, it's there. This is,
Yeah.
I think, something really cool that we can really study for the near future, actually.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
this is my dream for, NDA Color is to start, really kind of stepping into this world and be leaders. Like, I really want Nissan Color to be the most innovative, to be on the cutting edge. We tend to kind of like, see what everybody else is doing. And I feel like you, in order to be trendy, you have to be the first. And an only way we're going to get there is to be ahead of the curve and to be ahead of the trend. And, you just have to be watching and take it all in. And I mean, I just want to make an impression on the industry, but also for females. Like, I really want to build a team where like females can kind of find their voice. So we have one other girl that's on our team at Nissan Design America, which is great. I think it's empowering and we just got to help each other. So it's cool.
there's a quote from actually from an engineer called his name is Alan Kay, and it's a really
Okay.
great quote. It's in order to predict the future, you have to invent it.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we're doing, right? In our job, basically, is in order for us to really to think about it, we need to invent the future, and we create the prediction. And also in our imagination, I think our imagination is so important.
Yeah.
And again, a favorite quote from Albert Einstein saying that imagination is more important than knowledge, and
Exactly.
because imagination takes you beyond what we know.
Yeah.
And so, and I always see that in your work, Nicole.
Thank you.
Your concept boards, your process into color. It really creates an atmosphere of imagination for all of us to work together.
Thank
And I
you.
think that, having the opportunity to work with you on V-Motion and
Yeah.
with Dan, Antonio, and Ken, I think that was a really great team because we actually became kind of like one team.
We
We
did.
we criticize each other
Yeah, we
like
did.
crazy.
We did. We
Like,
fought.
like you say, what are you doing there? And we say,
Yeah.
oh. And so I think that's the reason why our
Yeah.
cars are great, especially our show car like V-Motion, is
I
because of that we are so critical of
Yeah.
each other that we raise the bar of excellence. And I think you being there is going to continue
That's so
um,
great.
that
Thank you.
process. Yeah.
I really, really appreciate that. Yeah, I think for sure, like, obviously everybody realizes no one person really designs a car. Like, we really are a
No.
team, and I love that we worked through all our problems, and we have very big designery personalities, which is awesome. But we also kind of get in each other's way, but in a weird way. That car was the perfect storm. We had a great team, and we all balanced each other very well. So like it was just, yeah, it was kind of the perfect storm. It was for sure my favorite project, but yeah, it was great. So it was really fun, and we did hackle each other a lot.
Were you there ever late at night and hearing Antonio and I playing George Michael's
Yes.
the greatest hits while we're working at our desk.
I know, many times. Yeah, no, it's great. I mean, I think one of the things that makes us so strong is that we're like a family away from family.
Yeah.
You know, like I think that what makes this dynamic so great is that yes, Daniel, we can see you. I can see him. But yeah, it's great. We had, you know, I love my job. Honestly, frankly, I've given up a lot of my personal life, you know, even people who know me, time with my son, because this job is like it's not just a job. It's a passion for me. It really is who I am. And you know, like when you can work with great people on top of it, it's like a win-win. So yeah, I feel really blessed and really excited to come back and take this all on. But you know, I mean, I would say for me, my biggest achievement has been the fact that I've been able to work with all these talented people. But like, you know, when I moved to Japan and got promoted, I was the very first female color manager that we've ever had in Japan. I mean, that was quite a, you know, when they told me that I was the first female ever to be in Japan, I just thought, wow.
Congrats, huh?
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just like, I want to break that glass ceiling without even knowing it, that I did it. It was just, because now it makes it so much easier for all the people behind me. And I think that's, yeah.
Yeah, well, Nicole, for sure, you're a very inspiring person, and it's been great really having the experience to work with you and actually having you doing our live here as well. And I thought it was very important to really bring color materials into discussion and how it really affects design quite a lot. Not only car design, but all aspects of design.
Yeah.
So your knowledge and your experience and your great words of encouragement for our followers are really helpful.
Thank you.
Especially, you know, for those who really are into cars and those are into color materials. There's great opportunities for everybody there.
Absolutely, I agree. So I hope all the guys out there weren't like disappointed that I was a color designer this time. But hey, you know, color is important, and you know, I think it helps you be a well-rounded designer. And I appreciate you highlighting color because for me, it's my life, and I think that it's good to empower other people so they know that it exists and what we do.
Yeah. Well, thank you for your time, Nicole. Take care.
Thank you.